Man,
all right?
don't rush.
We are here to watch the stars.
Man.
Hundley, I've seen enough of them.
He was good this last week, but yeah. Nah, Aaron Rodgers, chill out, man. Take the year off. Come back next year fully healthy.
Listen, I'm sure Aaron's not taking no advice from Nick right now.
And finally, Monday Night Football, Ravens beat the Texans 23-16, staying alive in a crowded AFC playoff picture. Baltimore now sits at 6-5 and would be the 6th seed if the playoffs started today, which they don't, but still an interesting sentence. CC, you believe the Ravens will make the playoffs?
It's hard to believe a team that I saw last night in the Ravens. I mean, this is not a good football team. I mean, they're really not. And Joe Flacco, I don't know how he avoids it. Maybe just the organization around Baltimore, because people have a lot of respect for him. But we seem to avoid even talking about how bad he's been.
What
trash. I'm not going to grab any of Nick's numbers, but if I think they're the numbers that I looked at, Nick, how well is Joe Flacco doing this year?
Man, Flacco's terrible. The only thing that's salvaging Flacco is, you know what's salvaging Flacco? Guys like Tom Savage being out there, C.J. Beathard being out there, the Nate Peterman and Brett Hundley experiments. Flacco's been awful this year. Well, yesterday, he threw the ball 32 times for 140 yards. That's less than 4.5 yards per attempt. Now, we're not going to talk about that because touchdown Tommy Savage has been sacked 15 times this year, and on 7 of those sacks has fumbled the ball away. He leads the NFL in lost fumbles, the Texans quarterback does, despite only playing half the games.
What was the thing that Joe Flacco was known for?
The deep shot.
Yeah.
Listen, he's
now,
going
if you take that away from him, what do you have?
I mean, it's long past. Yesterday was 24. The Ravens defense and Terrell Suggs, who is still a monster in this league, has been better than I thought it would be. But I mean, it was just a disastrous quarterbacking game yesterday. The Texans are now finished. And by the way, everyone's going to feel badly for Bill O'Brien. He had Deshaun Watson, and I almost feel badly for him. But then I remember that Bill O'Brien watched all these super important mini camp, OTAs, training camp, preseason. Had Deshaun Watson, Tom Savage. He's like, touchdown Tommy Savage is my guy. Okay, well, eat that.
Bill O'Brien got to do something about those glasses on the sideline either. Those were bad.
I liked it.
All right, the fallout continues from Chain Snatching 2.0. Both parties, the Chain Snatcher and the Chain Snatchee, Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree, were ejected from the game after this fight. And the big news now, both suspended 2 games. CC, what do you think? Suspension too much, too little, or is it right on par?
No, it's right on par, and I'm glad. The NFL, it's very interesting. They have a few former players that work in front office, and the person that heard this case, Jenna, is a person you're familiar with. His name is Jon Runyan.
Oh, I know John.
Okay? John came down with this ruling. Now, he's no amateur to fighting. Him and Michael Strahan used to get into it all the time with the Eagles and the Giants playing each other twice a year. And he went into the extra stuff that went on. After the whistle, the extra fight, that's what got him. One was grabbing the chain. That got Talib one game. And then, because it was a repeated offense, and then the fight after in the end zone where he grabbed his helmet off and threw the helmet at him, used that as a weapon, that got him an extra game. Crabtree, because he initiated it, that got him 1 game suspended, and him continuing on blocking Talib and knocking him in, where one of the NFL officials ended up getting hurt in this, that got him 2 games. So it's right on par. I'm glad Nick enjoyed this fight, because these 2 idiots, all right, this is not what the National Football League is about, and I'm glad they came down swift on them, because when you go to a football game, you're going to see professional football players play, and you're not going to see a fight. So I'm glad the suspension was 2 games. So it's really like they missed 3 games, Jenna, because they got sent out on the 5th play.
Right. So, all right. Let me give my take on the suspension in just a moment. First, let me have a moment of honesty with America and with my partner and with my partner, Jenna Wolf. I was not fully honest yesterday, and I pride myself on being honest. Chris was so strident and so impassioned about this is not what the NFL's about. This is not what we teach. This is not what our fans come out for. That I backed down, and I shouldn't have backed down. I just have to be honest. Man, I did enjoy watching that.
Did you enjoy the fight, the NBA in the Palace? Did you enjoy that?
That's spilled into the
No, I
fans.
asked you one question. Did you enjoy that fight in a basketball game? Because that's your sport.
No, but they didn't go into the crowd. They weren't punching fans.
Oh, but the NFL.
No, but you know what I did
these
enjoy?
clowns can fight.
You know what I did enjoy?
And you're enjoying.
If we're talking about the NBA, when Chris Childs caught Kobe with that quick two-piece. Like, I don't mind. I wouldn't like it all the time. If I'm just being honest. Doesn't make me a good person. It's just being honest. I do enjoy the occasional fight. Like, now I felt badly for homeboy in the red you're about to see who almost blew out his ACL right there. Seemed a little dangerous. And so just being honest, it didn't bother me the way it bothered you. I watched and I said, listen, Talib's crazy. Crabtree went into this game knowing something was going to happen. He literally taped his chain to his chest because he was afraid Talib was going to snatch it.
Yeah, compared to taking the chain off, putting it in your suit. How fly does he look?
Well,
sitting on the sideline. You know what's going to happen the next 2 weeks, Knicks? Check fantasy freaking football because he's going to have the same number of catches as you.
Are
okay?
these two
All right, check his yardage.
Are these two going to sit the 2 games, or will there be an appeal and then we'll go through?
Oh no, they're going to appeal. No, they're going to appeal it, but they're going to sit this year. But every player has the right to an appeal. It's different than the other appeals, though, Gemma. This happens very swiftly.
Yeah.
So don't get upset. Don't be worried about.
I'm just curious if they're actually going to sit the 2 games.
It's a different type of appeal.
Because it happened during the game. Okay. And so it's not about did I do it or did I not do it. Now, I do want to give the NFL props on something. I am, not to be political about anything, I'm not a fan of mandatory minimums in like any walk of life. I think context matters. And people are going to say, well, why didn't A.J. Green get suspended? A.J. Green put Jalen Ramsey in a chokehold and then threw a punch. He got 0 games. You now get 2 games. Context matters. Behavior over the course of your career
your reputation.
Matters.
It matters.
Your reputation
And I told
matters.
you, A.J. wouldn't get suspended because him and Larry Fitzgerald are the 2 guys as wide receivers least likely to get into a fight.
Right. And so I applaud the NFL. You mentioned the NBA. One thing that I hated the NBA in the 90s, a great playoff series was totally the change, the Knicks Heat. Because there was a fight at the end of a Game 5. Patrick Ewing and a bunch of guys who were already on the bench just walked off the bench. We saw again with Spurs Suns when Steve Nash got hip checked. The NBA went like the mandatory minimum. You walk off the bench, you get a game.
Right.
The NFL in this case, they were discerning with it. They looked at history.
The only thing, Nick, that you're missing is these are grown men. And men aren't used to, especially men who have pride, no man is used to getting hit or getting something thrown at. So this is the kind of stuff that carries off the field, and these guys bothly potentially could have firearms. Something worse could happen. All right, Jermaine Gresham, after the Arizona Cardinals, he was fighting a guy in the concourse after the game, in the tunnel, in the locker rooms after the game. This is not stuff that should be looked at upon lightly. All right, this is dangerous. They're from the same city in Dallas. You think they might not see each other on the street? Now, if they see each other on the street, what's going to happen next time, Nick? You think that's going to be funny? Because it still hadn't been resolved. So I'm glad they got suspended. And if they happen to do anything again, they're going to be out of the NFL for a long time. And if the NFL hadn't done that, I'd be on this TV yelling at the NFL because you are responsible for the conduct of the players on the field.
The far less important, but still a topic to talk about, is that the Raiders are in the playoff hunt, and now they're going to be without Michael Crabtree, so that is on them. Coming up, is it time to send Lonzo Ball